The men come here because they've suffered some form of sexual violence, either as children, adolescents or adults, and that's what they present with. However, there are usually other issues as well: bereavement, domestic violence of whatever form, verbal, physical, emotional, but that's what they present with usually. Men do find it more difficult to come forward and talk about their own experience of sexual violence. Women equally find it difficult, and there do seem to be more services for women to go to and more people for them to disclose to. Men often don't have that opportunity, probably partly because they put barriers in the way, but there is a perception by society that this doesn't happen, this can't happen to men. Their educational background, their family background, their parental influences, a lot of that is be strong and don't be weak, men don't cry, men can fight other people off, that's what they're supposed to do, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Whereas women, it's a completely different, even now, even in 2013, the way perhaps that we bring up our female children and our male children, and certainly I've got children myself, I've got a son and a daughter, and probably I brought them up, in a slightly different way. Yeah. Not, one to be strong and one it was okay not to be so strong. It's a real conversation stopper. There's usually as you say, that people just do not understand that there is the need for the sexes to be segregated. I think it was probably led originally by the women who didn't want, and it probably does go back to the feminist movement, and some of the services that I've known about have been assertively female. They're absolutely clear that they do not want any male involvement at all. And again, that comes from, I think, a fear of perpetrators. And women's voices in that area, can be very loud. Men aren't going to vocalise this as much because of the stigma of being attacked and talking about it. So they're not going to raise their voices at the moment and say we want this and we demand this in the same way that perhaps women have in the past. And if and when they do, they would have to be very careful about not coming over as aggressive.